Welcome to This Podcast Will Fix Me. This week, aka our very first episode, we're talking to Gab Pangilinan, who is a theater actor. You may have seen her in, I want ko, like, Ang Huling El Bimbo or Mula sa Buwan. And she's also the co-founder of Barefoot Theater Collaborative, who produced Mula sa Buwan and Bar Boys the Musical. As you can imagine, she's a very, very busy woman, and yet she still finds time to read and share her love for books online. And that's what I wanted to talk to her about. Yung pagiging habitual reader, paano ba nun naaapektuhan yung creativity mo, yung emotional endurance mo, especially for someone in the creative industry like her. And of course, how do you find the time and the energy to sustain a habit like reading, and how do you avoid burning out? So ito na, game. This Podcast Will Fix Me is available on Substack, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So saan pa? Saan ko palalagay? Papabillboard ko pa. And ito na, totoo na. Thank you for being here. Here's the episode. Hi, Gab. Welcome to This Podcast Will Fix Me. This podcast will fix
Yay!
us
Thanks for
both.
having me. Yes, truly. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
And happy birthday again. I know na
Salamat.
parang lalabas to tapos na yung birthday mo, pero the birthday celebration continues.
Correct. It's our birth month. So,
Yes.
hanggang ano yan? November 30. Char.
Tama. I do want to start with something very simple. It's what are you working on now and what book are you currently reading?
So, I am working on, well, my performing season, if you could call it that, is finished in a way. So, I'm not in any theater production now, but I am a co-founder slash co-producer sa Barefoot Theater Collaborative. And Barefoot Theater Collaborative is currently running Bar Boys the Musical in Arete. So as a ano ako doon, as a marketing slash producer ako for now. Kasi I closed Pinky and last October. Yes. Tapos the books that I'm reading now, it's a new habit that I developed this year na parang sabi ko, sino ba nagsabi na dapat one book lang ang binabasa mo, no? So parang medyo I kind of I'm reading multiple books now, kung ano man feel ko. And they are, well, share ko talaga.
Oh,
They
yes.
are currently RF Kwang's Catabasis. I took a break from it kasi, oo, nakakapagod yung adventure niya. And then, Manila Takes Manhattan by Carla de Guzman is a local author, tapos romance siya. And then, The Wedding People.
Oh.
Very much recommended by a lot of people. Pero ito yung medyo, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm actually midway for two out of three of them. So, yeah.
Kamusta si Katabasis for you? Like, is this your first time reading RF Kwang or hindi naman?
No, no. I'm actually parang I've read every book of R.F. Kuang of late. I think if she started sa Poppy War series, tapos Babel, Yellowface, yeah, medyo I have all her books because
Mhm.
I love the Poppy War series. So right now, katapos parang people were saying kasi na parang you'll get confused or you'll have to pull out the dictionary and whatever. Pero feeling ko naman kasi if you can use context clues, you'll be fine. And if you're an avid reader, di ba? Parang I
Mhm.
think medyo na I let what people said get to me. So I got nervous reading it. But then I'm like, oh, but I've already read her previous work. So parang okay naman.
Gets.
Yeah.
Kasi the only RF Kwang I've read so far is Yellowface.
Okay. That's
So,
the,
yung
yeah.
parang the drama, ano, the author.
Yes, no, that's so much fun, pero so different from her other works actually.
Hmm.
So
Yun
hindi mo
nga.
pala panood na movie in my mind, Char. Hindi mo pa pala nababasa yung The Poppy War.
Not
Ooh, that's my favorite.
yet.
Favorite ko
Okay.
yun of hers.
But
Yung trilogy.
do you think Katabasis will topple Poppy War as your favorite or no talaga?
Honestly, no. I would kind of yung Katabasis feeling ko mas sa Babel siya pwedeng
Mm.
i-match in terms of hierarchy in the favorites. Pero malayo kasi yung Poppy War, like it's a historical fiction tapos female led siya, 'di ba? So parang iba siya, ibang world siya, I think.
Siguro what kind of books are you drawn to? Kasi I know that RF ko ang very historical fiction, may fantasy, may magic realism, ganyan. Do you find yourself parang drawn to these genres talaga or do you have specific na favorite?
I honestly have phases. I
Mm.
mean, like, it depends ano yung season or ano yung gusto kong basahin. Um, I used, I think what got me started talaga with reading was romance novels. I mean, like, na talagang hindi ako titigil until I finish kind of book. That's where I would say I started, but then I started exploring other genres, and I was drawn to a lot of historical fiction, um, fantasy, pa-high fantasy na nga minsan, pero meron din akong phase na gusto ko thrillers lang ang binabasa ko. So parang if you look at if you're the type of person who tracks your reading na like Goodreads or Fable, yung mga apps na ganun, parang there was a time na sunod-sunod na puro thriller yung binabasa ko. And then pag kailangan ko ng pagpag or what, I'll go to a light rom-com, and then I'll go back to fantasy. Ganon, medyo nagro-rotate talaga yung likes ko, I guess, in terms of reading.
Yeah, and I can imagine it rotates with kung kamusta yung life mo, like kung ano nangyayari sa life mo
Yes.
right now.
Or sometimes it depends also on the theme, like let's say
Mm.
the themes of the production. So let's say the production is obviously very political. So I touch on like the books with themes that are political, or like local, parang actually more recently, or at least the past few years, mas I developed a deeper love also for local authors and Filipino novels, Philippine literature. So it depends, really depends on the show that I'm doing and how kung kamusta yung bandwidth ng utak ko, yung ganon.
Do you have any favorite Filipino books that you've read so far? Or kahit favorite na lang in general? Siguro top
It's like,
three, ganon.
oh my God. I'm sure you know how difficult that
Yeah.
question is. Like, actually, dun ako na-stuck. Na parang ako, oh my God, if she asks me this, I really won't know what to say. Kasi nga, rotator. I mean, like,
Mm.
sobrang book enjoyer lang ako na I like rotating and I like going back to books. Ang hirap. Pwedeng balikan mamaya.
Okay,
Mamaya.
no worries, no worries. Ano na lang
Oo.
siya, closing remarks.
Oo. Closing remarks. Ang hirap nun, promise.
I do want to go back to the very, very beginning talaga in
Okay.
childhood of like how you fell in love with reading. Kasi I watched your episode with NBDB, yung Show
Yeah.
Yourself. And it was super fun. Parang sobrang
Yay.
just talaga nung energy mo of like how much you really love books, ganyan, and how you incorporate it into the work that you do, kahit na non-book
Thank
related.
you. Yeah.
And
I was
yeah,
super kilig with that, by the way, na parang when they reached out, I was like, oh my God, I get to share like the books that I like. And alam mo yun, yung you don't really
mm,
get spaces, at least before, you don't really get spaces to nerd out about books, maliban sa kasarili mong platform, di ba? So
mm.
parang, yeah, I was happy to share. Sorry.
Go
What was
ahead, yeah.
what was your question?
Or there, kasi you discussed parang falling in love with reading as a child and how you're
Yes.
surrounded by so many books at home, ganyan. Do you think
I
that
think
played a part?
Yeah. I think I was lucky because when I was young, parang I was surrounded by people who loved books. Like both my parents are readers also. My dad had love for like nonfiction books, and it took adulthood to make me realize na parang okay, nonfiction books can be helpful or can be fun also, because I was a super fiction reader talaga. I started with comic books. I remember wanting to buy an Archie comics like sa grocery or whatever, like at a really young age. I remember being obsessed with the hardbound yellow Nancy Drew books. You know those Nancy Drew na sobrang hardbound na yellow book cover siya. And then for some reason, core memory sa akin, reading through a Nancy Drew book for 6 hours straight on one like Saturday afternoon. Like it was yung mga ganon na parang I was very much into reading when I was young. That I shared this also in that interview, the NBDB interview, na yung punishment ko as a child, kung yung mga bata um encouraged to read, or they were being pushed by their parents, by their teachers to read more books. Ako, yung punishment ko when I'd be grounded or when kumare exam week or whatever, I wouldn't be allowed to read books. And I felt so repressed as a child. Yung talagang, why? Kasi I would compare to other kids, and then I'm like, how come her? She's being encouraged to read. Tas ako, magbabawalan nyo. Because nga, I was the type of person to read. during times na dapat hindi nagbabasa. That's why my eyesight so bad also because I would read under the blanket. When it was my bedtime, I would like use a flashlight to read my books under the blanket or under the table while we're eating, or I would stay in the bathroom really long and pretend that, I was doing my thing when in fact I was reading. Ganyan. So parang they had a hard time taking a book out of my hand, basically. And it kind of went all the way to high school to college. I was an avid book. I borrowed books from the library in school, sa grade school, elementary. And then I think it only really stopped, or like I remember taking like a long pause during college na, actually, sorry. When we had all these readings, when we had school, um that's when I kind of stopped na kasi nag-organize na ako. Yung
Hmm.
ganon. And then I only really got back to it nung nag-corporate ako, when I graduated. And then nag-office ako, and then there was a lot of like downtime, but this was like reading on my phone, I think. Alam mo yung parang, yeah,
Yeah,
because nga I
yeah.
wasn't, like I would read on my phone during office hours. Um, and then that's when I kind of started getting into the habit. And then theater happened, and then I stopped again a long time. And it was only I think it was the pandemic that kind of made me realize also. And it was also like having adult money. Yung medyo
Mhm,
earning and
mhm.
having adult money na all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, I could buy physical books and read them and enjoy having them because of my hard-earned adult money. And then now when I got married and then we moved to this space, I was like, okay, mandatory tong bookshelf na to. And mandatory siya, and now I have the space to actually keep the books. And yun, wala lang. It's been a long and winding road when it came to my reading journey, but I think I found like I settled in quite nicely, and I get to enjoy the books I want to enjoy without shame, without hesitation.
I think we have a similar trajectory in that sense na parang being surrounded by books as a child, I think is really such a pivotal moment. Kasi
Yeah.
that's one of the things. Kasi I think you moving into the house and buying a shelf and filling it with books, that's something that my mom also did when we moved naman. Like kasi dati taga Manila kami and then we moved to Cavite.
Yeah.
And then she had like these huge shelves. Tapos bumili siya ng mga encyclopedia, ganyan. And yeah,
Oh,
that's really what I was reading before. And then in high school, dun lang talaga natuto reading sina John
yeah.
Green, like the novels, the young adult novels,
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And I
Actually,
remember, yeah, go ahead.
I sorry.
No,
My
yeah, yeah.
introduction to romance novels was my mom reading Nicholas Sparks.
Ooh.
Alam mo yun, yung parang she would read Nicholas Sparks, and then I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I started reading. I'm like, oh, alam mo yun, Nicholas Sparks making you shed tears and stuff like that. I think yun yung intro ko to romance novels talaga. Sorry, continue. You
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
saying.
Parang ano talaga, A Walk to Remember is a canon event na parang iiyakan talaga
As
nating
a
lahat.
reader,
Yeah.
true. Totoo
Mm.
yan. Tapos na-enjoy ko yung mga book report nung
Mm.
the books that we were required to read. I think sobrang life-changing sa akin nung require siya nung grade 5 ako na kailangan mong basahin yung The Giver. As in, parang I never forgot that novel, and parang I took it with me. That's also, siguro that's also what developed my love for dystopic novels. As in, kaya sobrang obsessed ako isa ako sa obsessed sa Hunger Games, yung ganon. Divergent, all those. Yeah, so, dami actually. It just kind of, 'di ba? Parang you
Oh,
kind of, like literally that's the word. You kind of obsess over these worlds, these characters, and then, wala, it just unlocks more of those worlds and those characters.
mhm. Yeah, same. Same dun sa parang tawang-tawa ako when there's a book-related academic requirement. Kasi like yun nga nung high school, we were trading John Green novels sa friend group namin. Kasi isa lang sa amin yung may copy. So after ko, okay, next friend naman, and then next friend naman, ganyan. And
The
then during,
sisterhood of the traveling books.
exactly!
Yun talaga yun. No, I
Oo
get
nga!
it. I super
Mhm.
100% get it. Ganon din kami with our, alam mo yung when you're a little younger, I was like, kunyari, 6th or 7th grade. Tapos yung binabasa ng friends mo, yung let's say Sweet Valley High.
Mhm.
Tapos feeling mo sobrang badass mo kasi nga wala ka pang high school pero binabasa mo na yung Sweet Valley High. Yung ganon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I get it. It was the borrowing of books also that time that kind of helped me din kasi nga I had a lot of close friends who enjoyed the same books as I did. Because I remember reading, of course, I remember reading Twilight and I remember reading Gossip Girl. And then all of a sudden, nagka-series, nagka ano. And then I'm like, am I gaslighting myself? I did read these books, right? Yung parang meron akong gano'n na parang sobrang sikat niya ngayon, pero parang matagal na siya nag-exist, di ba? May gano'n akong pakiramdam
Yeah,
before.
oo.
But John Green though, sobrang
Truly.
iconic, oo.
Iniisip ko nga kung mag-hold up ba yung books niya. Kasi I haven't read it in like 10 years, ganyan, or more.
Same, same.
So
Oo,
I'm
I don't know
wondering,
actually.
yeah.
Maybe we should revisit. Actually, that's something that I've been meaning to do also. Yung to revisit the books na I used to read when I was younger. Lalo na now, there are some, ayun, like kunyari yung Rise ulit ng Hunger Games
Mm.
series because of the new books. 'Di ba? Parang it's so nice to revisit, which I haven't done. But parang thinking about it, ano kaya yung feeling, no? No, parang to revisit
Ah.
those books that kind of shaped your childhood and your teen years, your formative years, ganon.
And siguro while we're reading, you would remember the things that you liked about that book. And now, parang it will serve as a reminder of the person you were before kasi that was the details you picked up on, mga ganyan, ganyan.
Yeah. And the phrases and the words na parang you realize, oh my gosh, lagi ko siyang ginagamit. Kasi nga,
Oh,
yun yung, di ba? Yung parang,
yeah.
o nga pala, dito pala siya galing, ganyan.
What's your favorite John Green book?
Oh, ayan ka na naman. It was John Green. Ayan, I swear, like, don't even. When it comes to favorite, what's yours? What was your favorite John Green book?
Siguro mine is Looking for Alaska.
Oh, alam mo,
Kasi,
Looking for Alaska's definitely one of the top ones. Yung ano, and until now, I think I have a physical book of that somewhere in this space. But yeah, oh, that was nice.
mm.
Shocks. Ang hirap. Again, balikan natin
Sige,
yan
balikan na
mamaya.
lang natin. And I know na parang he gets a lot of flack na kasi nga his
Yeah,
character, sabi nga nila na parang manic pixie dream girl, ganyan.
yeah,
Pero what I like about his work, kasi I can't comment on the female characters kasi I haven't read it in a long time na, so hindi ko
yeah,
maalala.
yeah,
Pero what I remember about his books ay parang the kind of very distinctly teenage loneliness. Na it's the
yeah,
kind na parang you don't have anything, maybe you don't have anything concrete to be sad about, like maybe your life is relatively straightforward naman, pero you still
right.
feel kind of like that deep loneliness that only
Yeah,
teenagers can ever really feel. And yun yung
true.
naka-capture niya, I think
Yeah,
that's
which is
the,
why it's that age, no? Parang
yeah,
yung age na
oo.
yun na dinadaanan talaga ng lahat at binabalikan. Kasi nga, yun ang pinaka, it's that age that you get to connect to what he writes about.
An iconic time.
An iconic
Yeah.
time. Oo.
And you
Diyos
mentioned
ko.
na you started reading a bit more when you started corporate.
Yes.
And then,
Actually,
yeah, go ahead.
the funny thing that time was, okay, so this is a confession. When I was younger, I wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter. I was in one of those families na bawal kasi nga very very Christian, very religious family.
Mm.
Tapos parang yun pinagbawalan kami to read Harry Potter. But I remember I was already holding the first book and I was already chapters in. This was my cousin's book pa. As in, so I borrowed and then I found out na bawal. So I had to stop, right? So nung corporate days ko na, obviously, adult na siya 'di ba? So parang I'm like, I think I have like enough sense and enough parang foundations to finally read Harry Potter books, no? Kasi meron na naman akong sariling prinsipyo, sariling values, ganyan. So I decided I think that's kind of what got me back into reading. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe, I don't remember anong year nga yung final movie ng Harry Potter.
Oh, I can't
I
remember
don't know.
now.
Basta it was a while back,
Mm.
'di ba? So
Mm.
parang I remember everybody was parang sobrang nostalgic for so many people and hindi ako makarelate kasi nga hindi ako lumaki with Harry Potter. But I kind of felt like, oh my gosh, parang I kind of want to feel what they're feeling or I kind of want in on itong hype nito kasi nga final movie na siya and hindi ako makasakay. I mean, I had seen probably one or two of the movies, but I wasn't like completely obsessed with the entire series and stuff like that. So I think it was in my that corporate year of mine that I started reading the Harry Potter books. And I remember just like breezing through it and obviously enjoying the adventure that it was. So, wala lang. Parang yun ang naalala ko lang na yun siguro yung nag-re-spark ng love ko for reading. And then tuloy-tuloy na siya at the time. And this was right before kasi I joined theater.
Mhm.
So, I remember being so proud na parang, oh wow, this is a corporate year, pero I read 35 books. Yung Goodreads reading challenge, yung parang, and this is the first time in years that I read over 30 books in a year. Parang ganon.
Actually, it's so cool na parang yun yung naging return mo to reading. Kasi I feel like I'm the same. There was a time na nawawala-wala na ako sa reading. And then
Yeah.
during the pandemic, I started reading young adult novels again. I think
Yes.
parang They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera yata. And then I was like, oh, now I
Mm.
remember why I love reading so much. Parang you remember suddenly what
Why
made
you
you
love it,
love.
right? Yung
Yeah.
parang, yeah, there was that feeling. And then, obviously, I read, basta I remember, I don't remember exactly the books that I read, but it got me back to reading. So, parang doon ako medyo, oh, yay, ganyan. And then, obviously, when theater happened and I was starting out a career in theater, medyo nawala na naman yun kasi nga I was so focused on work. I was so focused on being able to just book everything, say yes to everything, and audition for everything. And I think it was really only when the world stopped, as in during the pandemic, na I picked up a book again. And then obviously, ano pa bang gagawin natin sa bahay, 'di ba? Nung time na yun talaga. So that's when I kind of developed more reading habits as an adult na talaga. And yun, and then parang hindi ko na siya na pakawalan after that.
Now that you've hit kind of a sweet spot between balancing your work in theater and reading
Yeah.
books, how do you incorporate reading into your daily life, especially as the more hectic
Yeah.
seasons come?
Honestly, I kind of just removed the rules that I set for myself. You know, when you're a reader, you kind of have these specific things about reading. Like if before parang bawal sa akin to yung creasing,
Mhm.
yung those some people I get why naman, pero ayaw nila nag-crease yung books nila, or dapat one book before I start the next one, like I have to finish a book. When I kind of stripped myself off um from those rules, it freed me, and it kind of made me develop those habits na kahit, and I remember seeing a TikTok of yours saying also na you kind of you just pick up a book and read kahit one page, two pages a day, because I'm the same. Na parang in the morning when I have my coffee, I can start reading. I can read a book, whatever book I feel like reading, and then kahit two, three pages, that's counted. Or even like before, I was one of those people who didn't think na audiobooks were counted. 'Di ba? Tapos parang when I kind of got over that, kasi my dad is an avid audiobook reader, and he would send me like the different books he'd be reading, like basta sa Audible. And then parang at first I was like, ah, hindi naman siya parang it's not counted or whatever. And then when I think I was busy cleaning one day, and then I just decided to like turn it on, or to play an audiobook. Tapos okay, gets. I mean, parang and then all of a sudden I was open to that as well. So kind of when I removed all the dapat ganito, dapat ganyan, that's when I started developing reading habits for myself, and also I took out that pressure of parang may hinahabol akong goal, or meron akong um monthly goals in terms of books, or even the yearly yung reading challenge. I mean, I enjoy it a lot, but it's not like parang I just took off that pressure. And then all of a sudden, anytime I felt like it, I'd pick up a book and then I'd read. And even parang even my Kindle, parang I think I got my Kindle over 6, 7 years ago. So there was a phase din na medyo Kindle girly ako na what yun, wala pa akong adult money for physical books. So parang it was all in the Kindle. And then now parang changing it up from time to time, parang okay lang sa akin. And yun, reading multiple books, okay lang din sa akin. Multiple books of different genres. So depende talaga sa mood. I would also encourage people, kasi some people would be messaging me na parang how do you read so often, or parang kung subaybay sila sa Goodreads ko or my Fable na parang, oh my God, like parang paano mo nagagawa yung streak na yan na parang everyday nakakabasa ka, ganyan, ganyan. And I'm like, honestly, it's really just like either first thing in the morning or right before I sleep. Even when I have shows sometimes na parang pag downtime, I just really saw it as a downtime kind of exercise or activity and not a kailangan ko ng mental space or kailangan ko ng headspace para magbasa. It's really more of a, okay, I can shut my brain off and just read. And if it's not the kind of book that I want to read, I'll put it down and find another one. Parang ganon.
Gets,
Yeah.
kasi I feel like, especially with how we see reading online, it's so romanticized, which it deserves to
Yes.
be romanticized naman, na
Yes.
parang Sunday morning with a coffee habit, ganyan. Pero the way
Yeah.
we live our lives, parang realistically, like with our jobs, ganyan, reading has to be like a quick and dirty habit
Yeah.
talaga. It's
Yeah.
something we have to do every day talaga. It doesn't have to be super cozy or romantic, ganyan.
Yeah, no talaga. And even ano, even parang it's lovely when you get to romanticize it, right? But obviously we don't have the luxury of time. Like more often than not, parang we don't have that space. We don't have the parang pabiyahe ka pa para mag-cafe just to read a book. Parang oftentimes that's not possible. So when I found na parang kaya ko pala na parang even while waiting, 'di ba? Parang while waiting sa bank or while parang when I wake up and then parang instead of doom scrolling, yun pa, when I replaced the doom scrolling mode or like parang if I can doom scroll when I'm about to sleep, I can also read a book. And I think it also helped na parang si Mike, my husband, he supported me there na parang he bought me a night lamp, yung mga ganyang stuff na parang it helps that the people around me are also very supportive of that. Na kung dati I felt repressed nga as a kid, yung parang I feel like I'm healing my inner child
Yes.
by doing all the things na hindi ko pwedeng gawin nung bata ako. Tapos ngayon pwede na parang I'm reading in bed with my nightlight and yung mga ganong stuff. So, kakatuwa. And it also helps and it's very infectious when I followed other books, when I found book friends.
Mm.
Tapos parang yung mga, like I have a couple of friends that would PM me like if they're reading a current book, tapos parang they'd be like, ikaw, anong binabasa mo ngayon? Oh my God, read this. I recommend this. Parang it's super helpful when you find friends like that also. And in recent years, yun ang mga na-develop ko or yun ang mga nahanap ko, I guess, in this adult life that we are navigating. The book friends na kung dati man it felt very, reading books felt very, what do you call it? A solitary experience. Now because you see online that there are more people who are so game to like talk about their love for books and the books that they enjoy reading. I feel like now it's mas naging shared experience siya in a way. So, mas naiengganyo ka to read the books that other people recommend, and then you get to talk about them with other people. Like, that's something that I found really fun, at least in the recent years, na na-develop.
Yeah, it really is the community that makes a difference. It's the
Yeah.
same, yeah. Na kahit na sometimes I can't go to all the book events kasi we still have to work, ganyan. Pero just
Yes.
knowing people who are so obsessed with books as much as you are, parang sobrang nakakagana talaga siya to read more. Siguro in general, or parang for you personally, how important is it to have hobbies or have passions like reading outside of your field? I know na reading can be related to theater naman, pero why do you want
Yeah.
to maintain that habit talaga?
I feel like it kind of just it's a way for you to avoid getting burnt out
Mhm.
also. Na
Mhm.
parang if there was a time like yun nga in my earlier years in theater that I felt like I couldn't do anything else but theater. Parang which is great also. Like I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But now that I'm in my 30s also and kind of navigating life and that there are more opportunities in general, not just for theater but for hobbies, I think for like for anything creative. I feel like that's one of the things that social media has opened up for all of us. Na you get to find your people in a way, and you get to encourage those different activities. I feel like it kind of helps you stay grounded and it kind of helps you appreciate your work more also. Personally, as a as a theater practitioner, not just as an actor, but also as a producer, marketing, I mean like all of that. Parang it just kind of, like I mentioned earlier, it opens up more worlds for you. And I mean, fiction, at least for me, when it comes to reading, it also evokes so much empathy and it kind of teaches you empathy, right? So parang as an actor, for me, being able to read is such a bonus. Because you get to, I mean, obviously as an actor, you put yourself in other people's shoes and you try to tell their story as truthfully as possible. With reading, it's kind of the same, that you put yourself in another person's shoes and you open a whole new world for you to discover. And it kind of starts, or it kind of evokes emotions in you na you as a person experiencing in your everyday life don't usually get to experience. So that also helps you, at least personally, that helps me as an actor also, because I get to relate different characters to the different stories. And if I have to play a certain character, it helps me as well. So there's just so many possibilities, I guess, with um being able to do other things apart from just the work that you're doing, and being open to different activities. Lalo na books. I mean, sobrang totoo yung wala siyang limitations. There, sky's the limit when it comes to reading books, 'di ba? Um and even like ako as a fiction girly, and all of a sudden starting to read non-fiction books, it's I just feel like I learn so much. And as a person, that's kind of what you want to be. You want to be able to just keep learning every day. Kung ano man yun, 'di ba? Parang yeah, wala lang. It's nice to be exposed to all these possibilities and
Yeah.
not be limited by anything.
That reminded me of an interview that the singer Lorde did. Si Lorde na kumanta ng Royals.
Yeah.
When she was about to release her second album, Melodrama, I think she wrote that album when she was 19. And she had
Wha-
just, parang kaka-break niya lang ata sa first long-term relationship niya. And in the interview, she was saying something like, syempre, parang masakit masaktan. Like, it sucks to have your heart broken, pero it also opens you up to a fuller spectrum of human emotions. And I
Yeah.
feel like thinking that at like 19, 20, that's such an evolved mentality
Yes,
na parang you
for sure.
welcome, yeah, you welcome emotions like that because that's part of being human. And I
Yeah.
feel like reading books gives us the same experience. Now we don't have to have
Yeah.
our heart broken literally. Like we don't have to have a
Yeah.
breakup to understand pain, to understand different kinds of emotions. And that's why
Yeah.
reading is such a gift talaga. Na parang thank you that books exist. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, really, parang even when you read kasi books na obviously these characters are may or may not be your same age range. So in a way, it can teach you also of how to deal with life in the
Yeah.
future.
Mhm.
'Di ba? Or like you revisit what it's like when you feel like you're losing your spark and you want to revisit what it was like when you were younger, and you read a book about that, 'di ba? Parang it just transports you to wherever you need to go, depending on the book that you're reading. And it's just so wonderful, and it really is a gift. And I think that's also why I personally just love going there or being transported there in whatever book that I'm reading. Kasi nga, yun, parang these are things that we can't experience in a human life, and then the books bring you there, diba? Parang what a gift that is. So similar to how what theater does for me, in a way, that's what reading does for me as well.
Do you
Yeah.
remember a time na a book that you read had an impact on how you approached your work? Siguro a performance or anything that brought your two worlds together.
Oh my gosh. Yung mga, siguro recently, or hindi, let's go with our, ang dami kasi. Parang I
Go.
feel like, it really depends where.
Mhm.
Pero if I'm being completely like super honest, parang I feel like Katniss Everdeen changed my life.
Mm.
Yung alam mo yung pwede pala maging ganong klaseng babae. Yung may ganon siyang pakiramdam at the time when Hunger Games first came out. And it just felt like, I mean, lalo na before na, um, I would say we were shyer, or, I mean, parang hindi pa, basta, it just felt like we had to follow rules. And then all of a sudden there was this character in a book that was her, right? And it kind of just made me as a person braver, or as a woman. It kind of made me braver to see that, oh wow, we can be this kind of woman and not just this kind of woman. Alam mo yun, yung parang, and in terms of performance, I feel like I carried that with me, at least in the bravery aspect, or in being more courageous when it came to being an actor, and came to when it came to being the lead, so of any show, or being able to tell a story na female centric, or so there's just that at the back of my head. Parang I'm trying to remember if there was anything more specific than that. Pero yun ang pinaka siguro tumatak, I guess. And then kung may maalala man ako, I'm sure meron yan. Because in all the books, in all my performances, or in all my shows, there's usually a book attached to it. Or I usually have like a Bible attached to a performance. Alam mo yun? So
Mm.
parang, for example, Komodo Desolata S, which is, it was adaptation. It was a play that we did in August, last August. And then it was an adaptation of Nick Joaquin's The Portrait of an Artist as Filipino. And but it was again adapted by Galan Luarca. So I wanted all the source materials, like as many source materials as possible. And then I found in La Solidaridad, yung bookshop in Ermita,
Yes,
Manila.
yes.
Yeah, I found books. I found Ang Larawan, if I'm not mistaken. Where is that? I have it here. Anyway, I have it here in my bookshelf. Pero I found Ang Larawan from Stage to Screen, which was basically the portrait of Nick Joaquin, but also the musical libretto of Ang Larawan. And it was in one book. And then it even had photos of the play, and it had photos of when they staged it. And sorry, my mistake. I got that from Fully Booked, but I also saw it in La
Oh,
Solidaridad.
okay.
Yeah. Pero I remember like kind of holding on to that book, and every time like we would have rehearsals and stuff like that, see Delphine Buencamino, who was my sister, I played Paula and she was Candida. We would refer to the book and we would go back to it. We would read like the musical version of that scene, just to provide more just to see if it would provide more context, things like that. Kasi nga ours was kind of like an abridged version.
Mm.
So I would always go back to those books. Another example was when I did Othello with Cast PH, Nelsito Gomez's Othello. And obviously it's Shakespeare, right? So parang sobrang daunting and intimidating, and I wasn't sure. I played Desdemona at the time, and then I had No Fear Shakespeare with me. Yung Othello, yung No
Yeah.
Fear Shakespeare ni Othello. Sabi ko, wala akong pakialam, gagamitin ko to. Parang I just wanted to be sure that I understood every word. And I remember, because nga Nell shortened our Othello, so there were certain lines that weren't there anymore, and then there were certain scenes na I think they moved around. And I believe I can share this kasi nga Nell alam naman niya yun. But there was a certain scene kasi we were trying to develop the characters of Desdemona and Emilia, and Desdemona played Othello's wife, 'di ba? Tapos parang there was a certain scene that there was a line that he used that I felt our Desdemona in that scene, parang she didn't, parang it wasn't her. It
Mm.
didn't feel like it was her character, or kung may thesis statement man ang character na yun, parang hindi niya sasabihin yun.
Mhm.
And because nga it's a shortened version of Othello, it kind of felt like it was misplaced. So parang ako as an actor, parang I kind of questioned it lang, and then I went back to the original text. I went back to the original text, and then I found a line that wasn't in the play, that wasn't in our version. I found a line in the text that wasn't in our version. And I kind of brought it up to the director. And again, it depends. It depends on the environment, and it depends on the workplace that you're in, how collaborative you are and stuff like that. But I just decided to bring it up to the director. And then he was like, "Oh, that's actually a better line to put in the play." And I was like, "Are you sure?" Parang, and then I was like, "Honestly, though, that would really, parang that would help me and my character." And I feel like it kind of, again, that's her thesis statement. That's something that she wholeheartedly believes in. And I feel like if I deliver it in that scene, it's the perfect time for it. And then he allowed. So, alam mo yung parang because of those books that I had, thank you, No Fear Shakespeare. No, I'm just kidding. But because of those experiences, it kind of helped me in my work as well. And I was completely like grateful for that and for that experience. And of course, with the collaboration also of our director and the team. Parang it was just so nice and kilig na parang, okay, this is what these books are for, diba? Parang that's why they're there. And it's how it can help me as a theater actor in my work.
Mhm.
So yun, wala lang, na-share ko lang. Sorry, ang dami
I
kong
love that
sinasabi.
story. No, I love that story. Talaga, I'm always curious about that. Na parang,
Yeah,
kasi you're, as an actor, you're living the character talaga. And
yeah,
you know them talaga. I'm not an actor, so
yeah,
I don't know. Pero, you
yeah.
use them and parang you see how they interact in the story and you can parang pinpoint ano yung hindi nagmamatch, ganyan.
When that happened, I was like, wow, and then linaloko ako ni Nell. Yung parang, okay, co-writer ka pa. I was like, no, no, I was like, I didn't mean to. But I just parang thank you because it really, really helps. Kasi nga parang if Desdemona represented love, no matter how flawed and how, 'di ba, parang love in all in its entirety and its beautiful, ugly form. Parang the line that we added there, it just made complete sense. So wala lang. It was just something na parang, oh, yay! Parang, thanks for letting that happen or for allowing that. Ganyan.
Do you still remember the
Nakakatuwa.
line?
You know what? While we were talking, wait, nandito si No Fear Shakespeare. Can I just
Okay,
pick it
yeah,
up?
go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. Nandito yan because, give me a moment. Do you want to hear the original
Yes,
line and then
yes.
what we changed it to? Sige. For context, it was a conversation between Desdemona and Emilia. And by that time, trigger warning, but by that time, she was already um physically abused by her husband. And Emilia, as her handmaiden in the original Shakespeare, parang could see that and was trying to kind of comfort her. And then the original line was, good night. Heaven me such uses send, not to pick bad from bad, but by bad mend. Which basically means, in the No Fear Shakespeare, it says, I pray that God will let me learn from women like that, not to follow their bad example, but to avoid it. Which Desdemona, in the original Shakespeare, she was basically saying that she didn't want to follow the stronger women, or she wanted to kind of just submit to her husband and to kind of still be okay. Alam mo yon, yung parang she was trying to cope. Eh ako, parang I was trying to, again, we were doing Othello in a way a modern setting. So I'm like, obviously, ang mga babae ngayon, hindi na ganon. Hindi na sila susunod na lang. Pero parang I was trying to not justify Desdemona's actions or her choices, but in a way I wanted to express why she chose to to still love her husband.
Mhm.
So anyway, I found a line in her monologue to Iago. So instead of that other line, I asked if we could put, unkindness may do much, and his unkindness may defeat my life, but never taint my love. So instead of that other line, parang ito na lang, yun. So parang I was like, that's exactly what Desdemona stood for in this Othello na, 'di ba? Na parang anybody can be unkind, but she chose to be kind despite the world trying to make her hard. And she chose to stay soft despite everyone else telling her not to be soft.
Mhm.
So yun. So parang it was just like how, like that was how we closed that scene. Na unkindness may do much and his unkindness may defeat my life but never taint my love. Kasi si Emilia in our version handed her a knife. Basically, girl, do what you must, ganyan. Female rage at its finest. Pero, so yun. So, again, we didn't want to veer Desdemona away too far from the original text, right? Pero parang just to contextualize better the kind of person she was. That's what that line did for us. And nag-work naman siya. So, kakatuwa. Yun.
Do you have a Bible like that in shows na walang literature na reference? Like, ano mga example? Like, We Aren't
Um,
Kids Anymore, ganyan. Or,
yes.
yeah.
One of the books that I always kind of go back to is The Creative Act. Are you familiar with that? Yung kay Rick Rubin? At least creative wise. And also The Courage to Be Disliked. If you're familiar with that book.
Mm.
They're not acting books, but they often help me, I guess. I mean, as an actor, alam mo yung marami kang self-doubt,
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
marami kang internal monologues with yourself in how you should approach something or how you should go about things. And those are books that I like to revisit, The Creative Act and The Courage to Be Disliked. Um, na madalas binabalikan ko. Even Ego is the Enemy, actually. Ayan, parang books like that. And even Sarah Bareilles' memoir.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
read that one?
Not yet,
It's a
pero
really good one. Yeah. Wait, I have it here. Sorry, I was looking, ano, yeah, The Creative Act. And Sarah Bareilles' sounds like me. Parang these are the books that I like rereading or browsing through. Kasi nga, wala, they make me feel certain things na feeling ko alam na alam kong gagawin ko. Yung gano'n.
yeah. Mhm.
Yung may certainty lang that it kind of just reassures me that I know what I'm doing, or na even if I don't know what I'm doing, it's fine.
Is there a book na you wish there was a play or a musical version of it? Baka ang hirap ulit nung tanong.
Medyo. Oh my gosh. Alam mo, ang hirap. Kasi you know when you read a fiction book, lalo na kung high fantasy siya or kung historical fiction siya, bilang theater practitioner at hindi lang actor, automatic iisipin ng utak mo, oh my God, ang laki ng budget dapat para dito. May ganun na siyang factor, which sucks kasi you kind of hope and you kind of wish that you could just be that idealistic person that could just be like, ah, yes, kaya siyang gawin, ganyan. Pero, ano kaya? Oh my God, I think The Sword of Kaigen. Are you familiar with that story?
Mm. I haven't read it, pero I always see it
By
on your
M.L.
head.
Wang.
Mm.
Oh, I don't have it in my library now because somebody got it. Sorry. No, I lent it to someone. But The Sword of Kaigen is a fantasy, like a high fantasy novel about um, a mother and her children and having to raise children, but also being a warrior in her previous life. So I think there's a lot of that would be so interesting, like the fight scenes and the magic involved with it. If you saw, sorry, yung mga recent na ano ko na pumapasok sa head ko. If you got to see, let's say, Barboys the Musical recently, like yung set design niya, na kung gaano siya para siyang, I would say, it's like a Wicked, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, um, I don't know, like, alam mo yung all, like, just the marriage of all the different,
Mm.
sceneries that you've seen. And I feel like the Sword of Kaigen would be so magical if naging play siya. Another would be feeling ko play, straight play, Atmosphere ni Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Oh, talaga? I haven't read that eh, pero parang ang dami
I
nagsasabi na ang ganda daw.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like interesting din kasi may space factor siya. I mean, it takes place in the training in the training stages, and then it takes place outer space as well. So, yeah, you should read that.
Noted.
Oo. Yeah,
I-bump up
I'm
sa
curious to
TBR.
yeah, I'm curious to know then your thoughts on that book. But
Sige.
yun.
And how do you stay motivated naman, both as a theater practitioner and a reader? Kasi kanina we were talking about kind of burnout, ganyan, and how do
Yeah,
you maintain something like a hobby like reading with a super hectic career,
yeah.
with a super hectic job?
Honestly, I just feel na it's kind of similar to stripping yourself off of the rules.
Mm.
But like if there are months, which there are, if there are months na don't look as good reading in the reading aspect as other months, it's okay
Mm.
because parang the books are just there for you to pick up whenever you want, whenever you're ready for them. And like for example, recently, like July or was it June, I posted my Fable calendar and everybody was so amazed kasi nga I got to read every day, but it wasn't like that for August because we opened and closed the show and then I went straight to Pinkian. So and then it took a while for me to go back to it. So parang it's like you just kind of have to be okay with that so you don't get discouraged and you don't turn away from it completely. Right now, right now is interesting. It's a weird situation for me because I manifested to record an audiobook.
Ooh.
And it's happening. I don't know if I can share, but the funny thing is, so I manifested that this year, right, to record an audiobook. And I got booked for an audiobook. Tapos naging dalawa sila. So like now, parang that's currently what I've been doing like the past weeks, recording two audiobooks. So I just found it, I found to be in a weird reading space because it's like, why am I reading another book when there's an audiobook waiting to be read? Yung ganon, yung may
Mm.
ganon akong, nasa ganon akong headspace the past weeks na for like for some days, but like, there were weeks actually na parang I just wasn't reading at all because nga in my head I'm like, oh, but because I have to record this audiobook. Parang ganon. And then parang after some weeks I kind of got over that and I was like, you know what? I'll just read whatever I want to read. If 'di ba? Yung parang again it's the rules that you set for yourself and it's kind of like okay na yan. Parang hindi pa ako tapos sa audiobook and that's fine. So I'll just read what I want to read first as a break and then just go back to it. So actually, right before this podcast, I was in the middle of recording a chapter for the audiobook.
Oh my
So
gosh.
and then I checked the time. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get ready for the I have to get ready for the podcast. Yan. Also, alam mo yung mga book events ng Fully Book
Yeah. Mhm.
lately. I'm gonna be joining like a readathon
Oh, the
the
persuasion
Saturday.
one.
Yes, yes. I'm reading a
Oh.
couple of
Mm.
chapters there. And I think that's what helps also. Yun nga, na parang there are more spaces to nerd out about books like that. So those are the things I guess that motivate me despite having a busy schedule and seeing people who are able to still read despite having their busy schedules. Nakakatulong siya. So yun, yung mga hindi ako makakawala sa pagbabasa kasi nga nagre-record ako ng audiobook. Yung parang, oh, why not? Let's do it. Ganyan. Yeah. And I also have, if you're familiar with romance class,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, romance class, I've been reading with them maybe a decade now. Parang they would have their book events, and they would get theater actors.
Yeah,
They
yung
would
kayo
get
yung
theater,
nasa cover.
yeah,
Yeah.
they would get theater actors to be either the book cover or for their events, their reading events. So like I've read a lot. I've read with sina Gio Gahol and sina Rachel Coates, Mary Nor, madami sila. So events like that helps a lot. And wala, masaya siya na parang it's a way back. There's always a way back to the reading or to the love for reading.
Can you give us a hint ano yung audiobook or are you not allowed to spill anything yet?
I actually don't know. Maybe naman
Mm.
I can, but they're both romance novels.
Exciting.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Pero as a reader and a podcast, an
Hmm.
audiobook listener, may difference ba for you yung experiences na reading a physical book and listening to an audiobook?
Reading and listening.
Yeah. Or parang how different are the
Ah,
two experiences for you?
ah, my personal problem is it's kind of like when you're binge watching.
Yeah. Mm.
I would say I may be a binge reader if that's a term. Now, when I start a book and I really like it, I don't stop. Audiobooks are the same for me in that sense. Now, when I start listening to an audiobook, I don't, and I really enjoy it, I don't stop. So my problem there is my world stops. So I don't do it as often as I would like, because even if you say na yeah, you can work or you can clean while you're listening to an audiobook, you can do it when you're out and stuff like that. Parang I feel like it's different. I don't know. I that's what happened to me recently kasi when I started listening to the audiobook of George Orwell's 1984. Kasi it was Andrew Garfield and Cynthia
Oh,
Erivo. How do you
yeah.
stop? Like,
Mm-hmm.
'di ba? You kind of want to focus and you kind of want to be like, oh. So yun, medyo iba siya. Kasi nga, as opposed to reading a book na that's all you can do. 'Di ba? Parang that's all you can do. And then if you have to do something else, you have to put the book down. The audiobook, it tricks you into thinking you can do other things while listening to it. When in fact, the other thing is just a bonus and you're actually just listening to it. I don't know. It's a weird experience.
Mhm.
I still haven't found the balance there. Kaya kaya yun.
This is going to be our last question na, and I am so sad because I wanna keep making daldal. Pero
I
siguro
know.
to put a cap on the conversation, what advice do you have for young people who want to pursue creative careers in the future?
Oh my gosh. Quick story time. When I was young, I think the first, when they ask you what you want to be when you grow up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always easier to say that I want to be a performer and stuff like that. But I have because of my career or because of what I do for a living. But I have a specific memory of wanting to be an author because of how much I loved reading. Like, when they ask you sa slum book mo, and
Yeah, yeah.
when they ask you like what do you want to be when you grow up, I remember specifically writing author. Not even a writer or whatever. It was really author because of how much I loved novels. But I remember somebody telling me walang pera dyan. Which is the same as what they told me about theater, and the same as what they told me when they could feel that I had that need to pursue a creative path. And I think the best thing that I did for myself was listen at first and then still do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I mean listen at first was because like at the time I knew it was because they wanted me to finish my studies, to graduate, and obviously they were just being wary of the setting, the of the nature of a creative path, which is no sure paychecks and walang stable income. But I think the difference of 2025 from the 2000s, the early 2000s, is right now there are so many opportunities out there that if you really want to pursue the creative path, there is space for you. And there is also more of a chance for you to create those spaces yourself. Kumbaga, parang there will always be that imposter syndrome or that inner voice in your head saying na maybe you can't do it, or maybe it's not the right path for you, or maybe there's no space for you. But the need to do it just has to be louder for you to be able to actually pursue it. I think, because I think that's what I decided to do, because I knew that even if I was afraid, I wanted to do it more than I was afraid of it. So it's really that. And I remember, alam mo yung there are those words that you hold on to, or specific quotes na you kind of like, kakapitan ko to kasi ito yung propel sa akin forward. And for me, whatever that is for you, yun ang panghawakan nyo, because it really will. Parang you look back and be like, oh, thank God I tried, or thank God I did it. But it was really like, want it more than you're afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that.
I love
Parang,
that. Mm.
yeah. And sobrang specific siya in my brain kasi pinost ko siya sa Instagram as a quote. Yan, yung parang, you have to want it more than you're afraid of it. Because you will always be afraid. I mean, let's face it, to the creatives, lagi naman nandyan ang imposter syndrome, lagi naman nandyan ang self-doubt and all that. But there is also that need that is louder all the time. Na parang, no, kailangan ko siyang gawin or kailangan ko siyang subukan. And for me, lean into that. Lean into the wanting to try. Lean into the, I could fail pero bahala na. Kasi yung mga fallback of, quote unquote, fallback of like a regular job or a corporate job will be there, will be available to you if that creative path, quote unquote, fails. Or if you do decide na, oh, that's not what I want anymore. Parang I think that's something we have to be able to hold on to. Na it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change paths in the middle of wanting something. But yun, just want it more than you're afraid of it. And you'll find your way. At least for me, that was my personal experience. Parang I just said yes to that need. And over 10 years later, here we are. Ganyan.
Is the author dream still in the cards?
Alam mo, wala pa siyang need. Pero I get what you mean because it was it was really a time na I wanted to write, but I could never finish anything. Yung ganon, yung there's always a big idea and then it would just never push through. And then I realized that I enjoyed consuming or I enjoyed reading and just being exposed to it. So right now, no. But we'll see. I don't know. Mahaba pa ang buhay.
Tama. Mm-mm.
Madami pang pwede mangyari.
Yeah, and you're still a storyteller in a different medium naman. So it's
Yes.
kinda being true na.
Maybe yun na nga eh. Parang I was thinking, oh maybe that's what I meant. Alam mo yun, yung parang I actually meant a storyteller but in a different form. So it's just interesting how parang at the beginning of life, parang creative path na ang gusto kong mangyari at yun naman ang nangyari. So
Mhm.
minsan calling lang talaga siya. Yung wala kang choice.
Oo,
Yung parang,
tama.
'di ba? Yun eh. Yung
Yeah,
parang
exactly.
I think it's a like they'll say it's cheesy or whatever, but it is what it is. It's a calling, a vocation, or whatever you want to call it. And you just kind of have to say yes to that and then allow the universe to take you where you're meant to go.
Parang gusto mo bang balikan yung favorite books or skip na muna natin?
Um, okay, I want to ask you, what are your favorite books?
Oh
Do you
no!
have them? Oh, diba?
Siguro this year na lang. Favorite
Ah,
book ko siguro
sige.
this
That's
year. Para
valid.
easier. Mhm.
Okay, I think I mentioned them on my favorite reads this year. Definitely Sarah Bareilles' Sounds Like Me. Um, this was a stage door gift. It was a gift by
Oh!
yes, it was a gift by a theater goer, si Kat. And she just handed it to me. I mean, I that's kind of what I love about this year and about exposing my love for books kind of made people want to share their books. Yung parang
Mm.
ako, oh my God, is this real life? Like, I can't believe like a gift, like a stage door gift after me doing a theater show is a book. Like, another book friend, si Obi, he's also a book talker. He gave me a physical copy of Sunrise on the Reaping, which I had already read on my Kindle. Pero yun, yung mga ganyan. So yeah, Sarah Bareilles says Sounds Like Me. Sunrise on the Reaping is also one of my favorites. Ito one. Kasi naka-wrap pa
Mm.
siya. Ayan, Sunrise on the Reaping. And The Sword of Kaigen, ML Wang. Actually, ML Wang is a favorite author discovery of 2025. Parang Maren Cruz, who's also a reader, she recommended The Sword of Kaigen a while back. And then I think Blood Over Bright Haven was a recent release of ML Wang, and then I read that and The Sword of Kaigen, and voila, completely fell in love with her works. There,
Amazing.
I think.
Yeah.
Ang hirap ng favorite book ha. Pinawisan ako doon. Char.
Yun ang pinakamahirap na tanong in this conversation
I
talaga.
swear, it's like it's kind of like asking me what my favorite role I've done is.
Mm.
Like, people always seem to want to know, and I never know what to say.
So thank you so much for
Thanks
being
for having me.
part.
This is so much
Yeah.
fun. Feeling ko kaya pa natin mag 5 hours.
Oo nga,
Char.
eh, hindi ko nga napapansin. Sabi ko, hala, lagpas na pala tayo sa oras.
Oh my God, totoo. I don't know what time it is.
Sabi ko, hala. Grabe, pero sobrang saya. It just like, kahit outside of a podcast, like just being able to talk to you about books, it's such a Grabe. Such a fun experience.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. I enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah, and thank you for
Yeah.
agreeing
Yes. Oh
to
my
do
gosh.
it.
Like this year siguro yung 2025 ang ano, book awakening. Pero it's kind of like the year that I got the most book opportunity, like just a chance to nerd about books, parang the opportunity to do that. So
Mhm.
I'm really grateful. Thanks for thinking of me and for having me.
This has been This Podcast Will Fix Me. Has it fixed me? Parang hindi pa. So come back for a new episode next week. And for updates, go to girlbossinred.substack.com or on my Instagram at NEHNDREA. That's Nadrea. And thank you so much for listening. Bye!